Okay, we're done. We're done.
That's it. That's all it deserves.
Let's
a brief moment.
As we're we put Anthem to bed. Let's talk about another game that's kind of have a similar that looter shooter vibe that we just recently got introduced to here in topic 2. We're going to talk about Outriders, guys. The Outriders it's not out yet. It comes out April 1st, but the demo for Outriders was released this weekend. It's not a beta, it's a actual demo. You can play the game, it will still be there after the game is released. You get to play through the entire prologue and kind of first part of the game. And the question I wanted to talk about here in topic 2 is, can Outriders succeed? I, of course, wanted to give our impressions, Seth and myself, because we have played a little bit of Outriders. We played together this weekend. That was a whole lot of fun, so we can give our impressions there. But then also really ask the question and kind of dig a little bit here. Can Outriders be the looter shooter that, I put in quotes here, everyone likes? Or rather, because it's a more nuanced question, a game that people don't have as many problems with? And, and of course, we're playing this from the demo. I know at least myself, I plan to get the game. I'll talk more about the game when it's officially released and give my impressions and stuff like that. But I want us to sit down and talk about that, because I know that, I'm always excited about games. Like, oh, I got to get that game. I know, Seth, you're very much like, you get games that you're going to play. And I know things like demos help you, like, ooh, okay, I can experience the game and play and see if I like this game. First, let's kick off. What were your thoughts on the demo? What were your impressions on it? What did you like? What did you not like?
I think Outriders is a really interesting and cool game. It feels like a game that belongs in that launch window of a next generation. I know this game is coming out on literally every platform.
It's coming out on GeForce Now, for God's sakes.
It definitely, this is a God Bless America 7. Like, it is a perfectly admirable game. Is it going to be something that we talk about 5 years from now? Probably not, but it is a fun time. And I think it will, if it is remembered for anything, I think it will be remembered for doing, like, being the dream of what we want for, like, cross-generational gameplay, next-gen console, right? Like, this game is playable on 10 platforms, all cross-play enabled. So it really does not matter where you pick up Outriders on. It is going to do, like, you're going to be able to play with your friends playing that game. As far as gameplay goes,
actually, can I piggyback on that? Because I think that's important. Like, even from a demo standpoint, the fact that they have crossplay in here, and if memory serves, correct me if I'm wrong, Seth, and there has been no game in the looter shooter genre that has come out day one with things like crossplay or cross save. That's usually
not
something that's come out.
Call of Duty is. I still think Call of Duty is going to be responsible for the fact that crossplay is accepted now. Like, if Call of Duty had not done it, nobody else. As I called it, I can go pull audio logs and tell you. I said, as soon as the first AAA game did crossplay, then it was gonna roll downhill. But I digress. But the crossplay is a big deal, and the fact that it's here on day one is pretty cool. I hand the mic back to you, sir. Yeah, and I'm not going to talk too much about the gameplay because the demo is free. If you want to play it, go play it. The demo is available. It will be available through launch. It is, I would say, a good chunk of the game. I'd probably say the first 3 hours of the game.
It's a 3+ hour.
Prologue, the prologue, one story mission, which one story mission is like, 7 or 8 steps, right, to get through it. And then 4 side missions. So you get a really good feel up to level 7. So you get a really good feel for how that game is going to play. The initial impression is it seems really interesting. I'm intrigued by it. Intrigue is the emotion that I would assign to Outriders. I want to know I want to know where they go, because the game opens. And honestly, I was joking with my fiance. I said, it feels like Mass Effect Andromeda when you first start out, right? It's like landing on this new planet. You don't know what's happening. Yeah. It's colonization. We've got to we just got here. So let's set up the houses so that we can start to thaw people from cryostasis and bring them down, right? And after about 10 minutes or so, surprise, everything goes to hell. And you find yourself a little bit of a time skip, right? And you see just how bad things got after that initial colonization attempt went poorly. And at that point, the tone shifted drastically for me. It went from this like, we're explorers colonizing this new planet to there's a war going on and we've got to pick a side. And the main character got this like very Borderlands kind of like
that's a good.
There was literally a line where it's like somewhat like this bad guy was holding a hostage and the hostage like stabs him and the main character's like, oh, I practiced my line the whole way over here. You interrupted it. Like it was just really
I remember that.
Cringe, but a little funny. I don't know. But all the environments become like ruined, crashed out buildings and ruined, crashed out like war time zone. And I was like, man, I kind of want to go back to the beginning where we had like lush green environments. So all in all, this game just seems really like they've got a cool idea. I think it's going to be a game that is interesting, but I don't know that it's really going to be like, it wasn't technically mega tight. Like it plays kind of like The Division, but with a lot more, and I would say a lot faster pace. The pace was a lot different. And I would also say that The Division does not have things like character classes, right? Like you have specializations, that are like different abilities.
Those are basically its classes.
Yeah, that's kind of like the soft class, but you can change those at any time. Whereas with Outriders, it is a fixed class, right? You can change everything about your character except your class.
More akin to Destiny, yeah.
Yeah, it's more like Destiny. In your class, I noticed that playing the different classes were very different play styles. So, like the short range classes, what is cover? Cover is cute, adorable. Teleport, shotguns, SMGs all day long. But if you're playing the long range classes, like you are using the cover system, you are using more strategy in your gameplay. I think that's really cool. I'm going to bounce it back to you now. I know you have been very highly anticipating this game.
Yes.
What were your thoughts playing through the demo? And I know you've played it on multiple platforms, right?
Yes, I've played it. I played it on PC and I played it on my PlayStation 5. I know I will be playing this game on PC. PC Master Race, I'll put the crown on my head right now. I'm sorry, but there's nothing against the console versions because I think they both looked great. They both played similarly, but it was a lot smoother. I could shoot better, and I felt like the cover system felt better on the PC version. Some of the things I didn't like. Let's get that out of the way. The cover system, I think we talked about it while we were playing, Seth. It is not bad, but it's not great. It sits in this weird in-between where when it works very well. I played on PC as the Trickster class, and it was smooth, seamless, like running into battle, hitting on cover, teleporting, slashing, like hiding behind cover to get health, picking people off. It worked great, but then it felt inconsistent. There were these times then I would get pinned up against a certain corner and I'm trying to get into cover and I'm getting shot and I'm like, get into cover, and I'm tapping the space bar and it's not putting me in cover and I die as a result of that. And honestly, I feel like that was one of my biggest complaints, especially when you're trying to tackle some of the higher world tiers solo, and I could do this, I just need to be in cover so I could plan my attacks accordingly. And I will also say, speaking on cover, I also know that the game's mantra, and based on how you heal and stay alive, isn't necessarily to get into cover all the time. You've got to keep using your abilities, which I think is cool. You got to use your abilities. You got to know what you have to do to heal yourself and get in there and fight and get your hands dirty. But sometimes, especially like you talked about, Seth, for some of these mid to long range classes, like Pyromancer or like Technomancer, you have to utilize that cover a little bit because it's not as, you're not like a Devastator and you just run in there and go smash and you get health, full health. That's all. That's it. And other than that, another big thing that I saw that I didn't like was there was a lot of audio syncing issues. That mission you talked about specifically, every time the cutscene started where you walked into the final room and he was holding the girl hostage, the subtitles were completely off from the audio. 100%. Every time. On PC and PlayStation 5, I've seen it the entire way through. And
the lip syncing is, sometimes the lips don't move, that kind of stuff.
Yep. which I think we talked about it, like, for one of the characters, I think it was done on purpose to try and signal that he's using telepathy, but you wouldn't know. Like, you'd have to be like,
Yeah.
what's going on? But I think that I don't disagree with what you're saying. I expect this game to be a strong 7 or possibly an 8-ish game if we're looking at a scale from 1 to 10 when it comes out. I think the issues I described, and the thing that gives me a little bit of hope for this game, the issues I described are issues that can be fixed via patches. You know, we live in this post-patch world where I think that it may even be able to be worked in for the day one patch, considering that they released a demo a month before the game is actually released. So they could I'm sure they're easily taking these bugs from the first part, getting them worked into the game, so that way it's a more polished experience. And I think that's the one word. If I had to do like one word to describe my idea on the game, was rough. Like it's great. It looks great. It's smooth. Gameplay is fun. There are a couple of little fringes, a couple of little rough edges around this game.
The core is good. The core is the core is interesting.
The video, I will say, I've watched a lot of the videos on Outriders anytime they did the broadcast and stuff, so I know a lot about the game, and a lot of the game was not in the demo. Some of the things like modding, that, oh god, scared me to death. Kenny Haller, thank you for the follow,
Kenny,
sir.
Welcome.
Some of the what was I speaking on? Some of the help me out.
Stuff was not in the game.
Like the modding and whatnot, that you can take like certain perks and mods to, this is, especially when you get in a later game, the thing that excites me about is like, this is the tinker stuff like you do with Diablo, where you get to the end game and you get your builds and you have to like find special weapons and get perks so you can put them into your build, so you can fine tune and adjust to do just what you need to, so that way when you get into the later, what they call the expeditions, which are the late game levels, which I rewatched a video today. I'm very happy that one of the points they made to say on the video was that the expeditions are not recycled game content. You're not going to like go back to your old world stuff and play through it again. These are entirely new levels. The fact that you're going to be able to play through those again, and then you have challenge tiers where basically it's how fast can you beat them and you'll get better loot, sounds very cool and very promising. And I think that with Outriders, there's a lot of stuff in this game that they have clearly learned from launches like The Division and Anthem and Destiny that they're trying to overcome. Crossplay is one of them. Doesn't matter where you buy the game. And what's awesome too, I never got to utilize it. I haven't utilized it yet. But the way they implement crossplay is so nice. It's basically a code. You turn crossplay on, and then you click a button in your options window that says generate a code, and you give it to your friend, and they go in and put input code, and you put the code in and say, okay, sessions match, click your crossplay, boom, you're done, you're playing. And it's, I'm high on the game. I'm excited about the game. You guys can hear it in my voice, but I'm not going to lie to you guys and say that there are not problems with this game. I think, if anything, and this is a weird thing to say, Seth, I think it might actually be in this game's benefit and in looter shooter games' benefit that this game is a 7 or an 8 at launch and flies under the radar at launch. Because I think one of the big things that has killed so many of these looter shooter games, I say killed, but is the hype. We were hyped for Destiny. We were hyped for The Division. We were hyped for Anthem. Rest in peace. Yeah. And those had things good about them, but then they had a lot of stuff that people complained about and didn't like. And I think the fact that I'm expecting this game to be around 7 or 8 when it comes out on the 10-point scale. It comes out and they're like, but I expect it to be like, this game is great, it's got a lot of promise, but there are a couple of bugs, a couple of issues, some things that the developers need to work out, but it can all be worked out post-launch. And I'm hoping that this game gets longer legs, especially after the demo. I feel like the game has generated a lot more interest in it than before the demo. Yeah. And so I'm glad that People Can Fly decided to make a demo for this game to get out there and get more attention drawn to it, especially like you said in like this kind of drought where we're not getting a lot of next gen games yet. This is a perfect opportunity for it to get people's attention, and then in the months to come, apply patches, fixes, updates, post content updates to add even more to the game. And I think that will make it successful, but we'll really have to see. But I think I will say, generally, problems included, most of the people that I've watched on Twitter and social media have given a positive outlook on the game.
Yeah. I will say this. I talked to my friend. I played the demo twice. I played once with you and my fiance. I played another with my friend that I play games with all the time. We were both on the same page of like, this is a great $30 buy it in 6 months for us. Mm-hmm. I personally think this kind of game will do very well if it ends up on Game Pass. I think that is a perfect Game Pass. I can't think of a better Game Pass game than that one, because it's co-op does really well on those, on Game Pass. I think the demo will help encourage people to feel better about buying this game early on. But there's so many things that are out right now. If you like those kinds of games, then yeah, it's more of those. So like, definitely pick it up. But the energy I kind of feel from this is similar to how I felt when that very first Borderlands game came out. And I was like, man, this is fun. Like, it's fun to play. Does it stick out as being mega memorable? Maybe. Like, it's kind of interesting. They have some cool ideas here, but because back then that was, Borderlands was very novel. And then they kind of developed and evolved it. And then Borderlands 2 is really when that series kind of came into its fruition. And so I feel like they have a similar setup, right? Like, what's there is really good. And maybe as the game goes on, you see it kind of grow into its potential. And you're like, oh, wow, this game is really awesome. Because I do think that the fact that they're driving home the fact this is not a live service game per se. We're not really looking to be like Destiny with seasons. Like, they're just wanting to ship a really good product that you can get a lot of value out of. And I appreciate that. I'm excited to see how it does.
If anything, I think people might be drawn to it because of that. Because we've been so used to like, here's your $60 and then be prepared to pay the $20 for season 2 coming soon. Yeah. So we'll definitely see. Like I said, guys, I plan to get it for PC and jump on there. If you want to play with me, let me know. And then I'll give you guys my impressions as we get through launch and whatnot. I'll probably stream it for a little bit as well. There.
Now, as much as we love looter shooters, there's only one loot that I really want to get, Cameron, and it's loot that fits in these little dudes.
Oh, he pulled the Pokeball
out. I want.
He pulled
the loot
Pokeball
that you got on your shirt.
I'm certified Pokemon trainer. I have the shirt, so I'm totally good.
Now, okay, so I gotta hit you here because like there's a lot of Pokemon trainers. What's holding you back from being a Pokemon master, dude?
I gotta catch them all, man. That's what you gotta do before you're a master there. But guys,
I liked you.
But before we jump into Pokemon talk here, guys, I'll take a quick minute here to talk to you guys about how you can help support Rocket Punch, guys. If you're enjoying the show so far, you like what you're hearing, you like the streams, like the videos, all that good, great stuff, you want to help support the show, there are plenty of ways you can do that. Number one, you can head over to our Discord channel. That is in the show notes if you're watching via video or on the podcast feed there. Be a part of the Rocket Punch family. You can also help support us by reviewing our show on your audio service of choice. If you're listening on Apple iTunes or Google Play, definitely throw us a review. Let us know how we're doing so we can continue to be better and make better content for you. You can also follow and share our content and everything that we're posting over on social media. You will catch myself and Seth primarily on Twitter at Rocket Punch Go for me and at Darth Turner over there for Seth. If you want to take that one step further, go even further beyond, however, guys, you can also use your free Twitch Prime sub to subscribe to us here on Twitch, help support the show, and get some cool emotes to use in the process. You can also become a patron by heading over to patreon.com/rocketpunch. And I didn't announce it at the top of the show because I've still got to make the tweaks, but I will go ahead and say it right here. We've got 2 membership tiers over on Patreon. We've got the silver membership and gold membership. I am actually planning to drop the silver membership down to $1. per month. So for $1 a month, you can get a whole slew of crazy, awesome goodies and whatnot, and behind the scenes stuff, cool, exclusive content you're not going to find anywhere else. And then if you go to the gold membership tier, you can be shouted out on the show, just like our other Rocket Punch producers here. Want to give a special shout out, of course, to these guys supporting us at our highest tier: Jossie M, Julian P, Stephen S, Adam C, and of course everyone who is subscribed to the Rocket Punch live channel here on Twitch. We appreciate you guys' support. Thank you so much there for continuing to make all this stuff possible.